everybody. It's Dr. Cindy with the Positively Altered podcast. I am a chiropractic internist and nutritionist, and here we discuss all things health related, physical, spiritual, emotional, you name it. It is health related in some regard, and today is no different. It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about how your body is not your bottleneck. Do you sometimes feel like you get into your own way? Well, today we're going to discuss how to step out of that. We're also going to look at data and how it's really important to find the right practitioner. So grab a seat and your favorite drink. Hopefully it's water. We're going to take a quick listen to some of our sponsors, and we will be right back with today's guest.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? Hey, everybody. We are back from our commercial break, and we appreciate you hanging tight with us. I am Dr. Cindy, your host of the Positively Altered podcast. And today's guest, I am super excited because I have a feeling that the things that are going to come out of her mouth, I've said, and the things that are going to come out of my mouth, she said. So we're going to see how like-minded we are in order to fix the entire free planet in this world of functional medicine. Jessica, then Antoine, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Cindy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love learning from other people, but I also love like-minded stuff, right? It's fun.
Exactly.
We can just plow over everything together. So I want to start with something you said, I read, and I loved it. You made a comment that said the body isn't the bottleneck. It's the opportunity. And I want to start there. I know there's so much we're going to cover today, but what does that actually mean to you?
There's so many things. It's like a whole can of worms, right? But I think that, starting out from a very philosophical perspective, we have kind of normalized in our culture feeling okay, like not feeling fantastic, not feeling great, not feeling amazing, but just like getting by and pushing through. And so the body is the opportunity, is basically an invitation to listen to the signals that your body is giving you, to pay attention to them, because they are showing you that something is out of balance in your body. And it may not be severe enough for you to go seek medical treatment. But there's an opportunity for optimization there. There's an opportunity to bring something back into balance, to bring, your systems back to 100% function so that you can feel amazing and phenomenal rather than fine or okay.
Right. It's so true. But I think you take it even a step further, which I want to really lay into because it's really important. And that is, people feel that if they don't have a symptom, they're healthy. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not affecting other parts of their life, right? In the terms of work-life performance, elevation.
That's right.
Let's hit that a little bit because we spend so much time just, getting rid of the fatigue, right?
Right.
Or clearing the brain fog. But what does that really mean in a lifestyle standpoint?
It means there's more of you to show up in the places that you are, in the relationships that you have, at your work, with your family, with your kids. When you feel fantastic and when you're clear mentally and emotionally and you're not tired all the time, then there's just more of you available to shine your brilliant light onto the world, right? You're not being dimmed by having to wade through brain fog. There was something else that you said that triggered another thought that I could go in, and you and I do have so much in common. We could go in a million different directions all at the same time.
All right. So let's go back to some basics. Where do we start? Right. I'm a female. I run an organization. I run around the world doing all kinds of crazy, silly, high energy things. And if I'm not feeling perfect, where do we start to backtrack and just go, okay, here's what we need to look at to get to the level you're talking about?
Well, again, like I mentioned, it's, feeling okay or feeling pretty good isn't necessarily impetus to go to a doctor, right? And if you do go to a doctor at that level, then they're probably going to run your labs, run your blood work, and they'll be like, oh, everything looks normal, and just sort of brush you off and say that you're either imagining it or it's just part of getting older, or you just have to deal with it, or maybe they'll write you a prescription that you'd have to be on like for the rest of your life to manage whatever symptom it may be. But there's no sort of like asking why that thing is happening in the first place. And so I want to circle back to, like you said, the absence of symptoms means that people think that they're healthy versus, of course, we have also been trained in our society to seek interventions when something goes seriously wrong, rather than being proactive and realizing that the absence of symptoms doesn't mean you're in great health. It's sort of like a dial, right? Like if the absence of symptoms is like the hand of the clock is at midnight. In one direction, this is where you start developing symptoms and things are getting worse, and you maybe self-medicate at first. And then if that doesn't work, then you go to actual medications, and then you actually get diagnosed with the disease, et cetera, et cetera. From the other direction, from this 12 o'clock with no symptoms, comes actually healing from illnesses faster than you did before, or not getting sick in the first place because your immune system is just so on point, and just waking up feeling rested and feeling ready to take on your day versus waking up and being like, oh, I need my 3 cups of coffee before I can start to feel like a human. You know what I mean? So
nobody is born with a caffeine deficiency, Jessica. Nobody.
That's right. Exactly. Like your fatigue is not a deficiency of caffeine in your system, right? And your inability to sleep well isn't because your body is short on lavender oil, right? Like,
right.
Right. Like these are the things that we have sort of settled for in our modern culture, is like the absence of symptoms. And so I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just going to deal with it and push through, versus taking your health into your own hands and being proactive and getting the data that tells you where your body systems aren't fully functioning at 100%. And then the solution becomes clear. Once you have the data, it's like, oh, I need help with my phase 1 liver detoxification, or my cortisol is dysregulated, or my hormones are out of balance, or my minerals are deficient, or whatever it may be. But once you have the data, you don't have to guess anymore. And then the solutions become easy. And you don't also have to, by the way, stack your calendar with like a million wellness hacks trying to like get to the other side of these things,
No, I laugh because they're out there, right? And if we watch enough TikTok and Instagram, you will find them. Yeah.
Totally.
For those of you that are listening and not watching, both Jessica and I rolled our eyes. So when we mentioned TikTok and whatnot, it's interesting to me though, because I want to dive into what you're calling the data, right? And that's the information that we need. How, in your opinion, how deep do we need to go? Like, I'll give you an example. I had somebody reach out to me today, and another doctor had run a couple like 5 individual labs, right? And they were making a decision on that person's healthcare based on only these 5 labs. And I went into this whole like, well, but what's causing the dysfunction that you found on the lab? And what are the pathways and what are the repercussions? And then how is the body actually going to handle the treatment and what happens there in genetic, right? So I went down I probably exhausted her going down this entire rabbit hole of the before and after just these 5 labs. Talk to me a little bit about like where you think even in this functional medicine space that you and I sit in, we're still screwing it up because we're not thorough enough.
Yeah. I love that you brought this up because so many functional medicine practitioners use functional medicine allopathically the same way that Western doctors do, that they essentially, someone comes in with a certain set of complaints, a certain set of symptoms. The functional med practitioner in this case is developing a hypothesis about what they think might be going on. So they run a certain, lab test or set of lab tests to test this hypothesis. And then that hypothesis is either confirmed or denied, and that kind of determines the treatment path, right? The path that I take, and I wish that, and I hope that more functional health practitioners are coming over, is to just get a holistic perspective of all the systems of the body at once. It's like, yes, take the symptoms of this person that's in front of us into consideration, but don't let that limit what you're testing for, because where one system of the body is out of balance, there's something else compensating for it over here. So a hormonal imbalance could be affecting gut health, could be affecting mineral deficiencies, could be affecting, the list goes on. The systems of the body are interrelated, they're interconnected, and they function together to create the beautiful symphony of the body. So if you're only treating or even testing one system at a time, then you're going to end up playing whack-a-mole. Like you're going to make some adjustments over here. Everything else is going to kind of adjust around it. And then something else is going to pop up over here, versus getting a more broad level perspective of everything all at once. So you can treat everything all at once. And then the rising tide lifts all boats, right? So everything starts to improve.
Okay. So let's address the elephant now that people are thinking. That would be lovely if it cost $25 to do all of that work. You and I both it doesn't, right?
Right.
So being that we live in an environment where, there's out-of-pocket expenses for people to spend money to get well. Mm-hmm. Assuming some people don't have an open pocketbook, again, where would you recommend people just start? If they're hearing you, they get it. Yes, we want to function at a higher level. But we got to, or even just emotionally, we got to take the baby step, because the work that you and I do can be extremely overwhelming when we dive in.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. I think the hair tissue mineral analysis is a great place to start. It's pretty affordable as these tests go, and minerals drive every function in the human body. So if your minerals are out of balance, then, any one of, the thousands of functions that are going on inside your body are going to be out of balance. So I think that's a great entry level place to start. Mm-hmm. I would also say that, we spend hundreds of dollars a month on insurance, on health insurance that we may or may not use. And so you're already investing into this system, the insurance model that, if you have to use it, is just going to return you to a baseline level of function. It's not actually going to give you an ROI, so to speak. It's not going to raise that level of function, make you healthier, make you more vital, really take you from even having symptoms to having no symptoms, but also, like we were talking about, that wellness dial over onto the other side where you just feel vital all the time. That's not the interest of that model, right? Their model is to get you addicted to pharmaceuticals for the rest of your life and not actually heal anything going on in your body. And then we all know that those pharmaceuticals have side effects that will then lead to needing another pharmaceutical to deal with those side effects. And when my grandmother was in her 90s, she was taking 14 pills a day, because to deal with, all the side effects of the one thing. So people always find money where they find importance. People will
Right.
spend thousands
Right.
of dollars on a ticket to go see Taylor Swift. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But then they're like, oh, I don't have $500 to run a mineral test on my hair. Like, I think you do. You just don't see the importance, and that plays back into what we were talking about earlier in terms of our cultural training, that we wait till something's really wrong and we
Yes.
have to spend the money, but then it's way more expensive. And then you have, sure, your insurance might pay for some of it, but then you have the deductibles and the out of pocket, the fees that the insurance doesn't cover. So, I mean, just think about what you'd be saving yourself if you actually invested proactively rather than responding reactively.
I totally get it. I always say all the time, it's not that people can't afford you, they choose not to.
Right.
And I encourage practitioners, be so successful that the people who really can, I mean, truly that are hardships, then you do some pro bono work, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it is where you spend your money. All right. I have a question for you. What's your favorite mineral? Do you have one?
I'm a big fan of magnesium.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
Yeah. I mean, it's so basic, but it's so necessary. And as you know, the body burns through it at a faster rate when you're under stress. And
Yes.
In our modern world and society, we are all under stress all the time.
All right. So let's make it more complicated. What's your favorite form of magnesium?
Glycinate.
Really?
I like it.
Okay, that's where you and I are going to go our separate ways.
Okay. What's your favorite form?
I'm going to pick 3 and 8. I love
3 and 8.
magnesium 3 and 8.
Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah. It's just fun for people to misspell when I go fast. It's 3 and 8, and they go, "What's 3 and 8?" I'm like, no. Here's one of the reasons I tend to do a lot of work with the blood-brain barrier, right? And cognitive decline. And I love that it doesn't affect the GI system. So a lot of patients who are already in GI distress, we can cross the blood-brain barrier without, putting them in the bathroom with diarrhea. So use glycinate and citrate and bisglycinate. I mean, love them all, but that's the reason for my favorite. What's the reason you like your favorite?
I just find glycinate is bioavailable and has, the multiple benefits of helping with bowels, but also just being calming to the nervous system.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's great. So at least we're on the same boat, that everybody needs to get their magnesium checked, which is good.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about peak performance, because I know this is sort of your baby, right? Like the functional medicine is awesome, but your whole goal is really to elevate peak performance. What does peak performance mean? I mean, does that mean I have to climb a mountain and, do it in less than 18 hours? I mean,
No.
How do we establish what that means for people and how to do that?
I think peak performance can be unique to each individual, but I think really what comprises peak performance in my mind is again, waking up feeling rested, having enough energy to make it through the day without crashing and without an unhealthy addiction to caffeine, having the mental clarity to just be on point, not have to reread emails 3 times, to not lose your train of thought in the middle of a sentence, not to wander into a room and be like, why did I come in here? Those are the kinds of basic functions that throughout our day, or the basic experiences throughout our day that we don't necessarily have to settle for again. So mental clarity, and, of course it's born of my own experience as an entrepreneur and coming up against burnout and coming up against the limitations of the wellness lifestyle, and what those, where those kind of stop having, beneficial effects. They're not going to change the physiology of my body. And so that's where functional health is sort of like the next step.
Did you start out in this space and then move more into this work because of your own story, or was the story the impetus to get into the work?
The story was the impetus to get into the work. Yeah. I started out as a massage therapist and became a yoga instructor, meditation instructor, qigong, breath work, kind of approaching health and wellness again, from that more lifestyle perspective, and from the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, physical, not being physiological, right? But physical in terms of the muscles and the function of the body. But, so I was doing all the things, doing all the right things, but then still wasn't able to show up and, meet the demands of my life and the pressures and responsibilities. I just felt like everything was crushing down on me. And I just, just had a moment where I just broke down. I was like, I can't do this anymore, and it was the beauty of the, synchronicities of the universe. That day, a gentleman walked into the wellness studio that I was running, and he was a functional health practitioner and wanted to talk about teaching classes there. And so in talking to him and learning about what he did and his approach, I just was like, sign me up.
Okay.
And, learned about my own cortisol dysregulation and hormonal imbalances that were predisposing me to fatigue and just a sense of overwhelm and not being able to handle the stressors of my life. And once we fixed those imbalances, then I felt like myself again.
Okay.
And
I want to talk about women a little bit, because I think it's a big problem, right? Is we don't feel ourselves. We've spent all these years taking care of everybody else but us. We get told we're crazy. We're getting you said it even earlier. Well, we're aging, right? Like there's that, well, you're just getting older.
Right.
I want to talk about those things a little bit, because it's really actually a pet peeve of mine. This whole, like, yes, things change as we age.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we go, oh, okay, because I'm older, I should forget what I walked into the room for.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I love to blame menopause because I'm in it, and there's truth to that. But why do you think a lot of women get stuck into that acceptance versus we know we can have a profound effect when we find the deficiencies and the causes to overcome those struggles?
Well, one, I think is the cost, like you mentioned. It's not cheap to take your health into your own hands, and people are already spending hundreds of dollars. Like, if they didn't have to have insurance and they weren't spending those hundreds of dollars every month on insurance, then perhaps they would funnel it into being proactive with health and wellness. But I do feel like it's sort of a systemic problem, because we have been trained to wait to be reactive with our health rather than being proactive. Although I do think that is changing, with the health and wellness becoming more talked about, and especially menopause and perimenopause and what women go through. It's definitely, people are being more vocal about that. And I think it's great. But I also think that we have, and this is kind of like bringing in the whole education system and how we're trained essentially as students moving through public school to like sit down and do what you're told. And it's the same thing it's the same thing in the medical model, right? And even the term being a patient, like Western medicine will call you a patient. But if you think about the other connotation of the word patient, like just be patient, like just sit back, relax, be patient, we'll take care of everything for you, rather than no, you have agency and empowerment in your own health outcomes. And there are things that you can do and take into your own hands. That was not trained into us from the time that we're, 5, 6 years old and first start going to school. That sense of empowerment and the can-do attitude. So it goes deep, and it's hard for people to undo that training.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the generation that came before me, I look at my parents' generation. You had a practitioner, you kept them. It didn't matter what they said. You followed, you trusted, and you were done. Now what I'm seeing, which I love, is we're firing practitioners, right? Like we're walking in and going, we don't like what you're offering, and we don't agree with you, and you're not answering my questions or taking the time, so you're fired.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I I even tell all my patients, I'm like, look, I'm here truly to serve you. If you're getting what you need from me, you like the outcomes, you feel comfortable here, right? All the things, then we're going to work as a team. And if that ever stops, honestly, do fire me. And I'll even give you a good referral to somebody else, because, you have to be in, my opinion is you have to build your team, right? And sometimes it's one practitioner, sometimes it's many, but there has to be that relationship, right? Of trust, exchange of communication and information. And as long as you're progressing in a way that feels good, we're in the right space. And the minute it doesn't, it's okay to let your doctors go.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, today my mom is actually going from, she has glaucoma and pressure in her eyes, and she had switched eye doctors, and this doctor told her that he like really alarmed her. He was like, you have severe glaucoma, like you're going to lose your sight and there's nothing that we can do. And she's already had a couple procedures and like all this stuff. And she was like, she like, of course, like burst into tears in the waiting room, called her husband, and he was like, we're getting a second opinion. And so they're going to get a second opinion from a specialist, as opposed to this generalist that had really alarmed, like, sounded the alarm bells and made her think she was going to go blind. So today she's going to the specialist, just like you said, because she didn't like what that other guy said.
Nice. And I will share with you, it's one of my biggest pet peeves actually in the entire medicine space is that somebody makes a final decision about the fact that nothing else can be done. As the body goes bad, the body can go good. And he may not know what to do. And I think that's fair. I don't know what else to do for you, right? In this, but as long as you want to get better, there's always somebody out there with a new idea that just may work.
Absolutely. And the outcomes, I mean, what a doctor says affects the outcomes in a patient's mind a lot of times, right? Like we all know the stories of like people who didn't accept what the doctor was saying and went to get a second opinion or just decided they were going to take it into their own hands and they cured themselves. They shrank, a stage 4 tumor down to stage 1. It was actually became operable and saved their own lives. But this is where sort of like the Joe Dispenza and metaphysical kind of stuff comes into play. It's like what you believe affects the outcome. And so if you believe what the doctor tells you, because they're in that position of authority, right, then that's going to affect your outcome versus a doctor just essentially accepting the limitations of his knowledge or his skill and saying, there's nothing else that I can do for you. But there are plenty of people that have new ideas or experimenting with new treatments that, you can, explore other options.
Yeah, it's so interesting. How common is that for you to run into that patient that mentally isn't going to get well because the messaging isn't there? No matter what test you run, what you put them on, they're just not going to get better. Do you run into that?
I do. I just finished with a client who he made some progress in our program together, but his mindset is just, and he knows that about himself. Like he was like, I'm just a negative person and my mom is too. And so maybe it's genetic or whatever. And we brought that into the program. It's like, let's practice gratitude, find 3 things, even if it's just that like you woke up today, even if it's the only thing that you can be grateful for in a day. But yeah, I mean, so he has a long road ahead of him in terms of kind of changing his attitude.
Yeah, it's very interesting. No matter how much we support our patients on the physical side, the metabolic, the chemistry, right? It's the messaging. The brain is wired to be negative, and if we don't change that neuroplasticity.
Yeah, that's going to affect outcomes. Yeah, totally. Then all of your cells are swimming in that negativity all day, every day. And like, who likes to be in a negative, toxic environment like that? The macro and the micro, right? Like just like human beings, our cells don't want to be in that sort of environment either.
Yes. So who is your favorite client? Who do you love to work with? What's ideal for you?
Female founders and entrepreneurs.
Okay.
I'm just such an entrepreneur at heart. I have, way more business ideas than I can ever actually bring to fruition in this lifetime. And it's just such a unique set of stressors and responsibilities, that I just love the idea of taking an idea, of bringing it out of the ethers and like giving it physical form and giving it life, making something out of nothing. And because that's my own nature, that's who I like to support as well.
I love that. And we need you.
Yeah.
There's more of us every day, right? And we're truly, truly struggling. One of the biggest things that I see again is in the female space that we just never seem to put ourselves first. As a human being that nurtures and is always worried about taking care of everybody else, we're kind of secondary. And I think that's one of the most difficult things is as women, we're so busy taking care of everybody else that we just never truly put ourselves first. And I guess, you know what, Jessica, it's time for us to just say it's time.
It's time. It's so time. And I think that's especially true too, as female business owners, because then you have that extra layer of responsibility. You add that to the kids that you're putting first and the husband that you're putting first, or the partner, as it were. And then the business that you're putting first without realizing that the business relies on you. And so if you're not functioning at 100%, whatever level that you're functioning at is what's going to show up in your business.
Yeah, I love that. So for everybody out there, whether your peak performance has to do with a new business, a current business, or just managing your household, it's time. We're going to declare this, whatever day we air. I don't even know at this point, but whatever day we are airing this, we are going to declare this national, get on the stick and take care of your health day for peak performance in women. How's that?
That's right. Women, time to put yourself first day.
We are doing it right now, right here. So here's what we're going to do, Jessica. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with some rapid fire questions. We're going to let everybody put that on their calendar so that they know today's the day. And we're going to come back and have some fun. So everybody hang tight. We will be right back. This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop. Hit that follow button now and spread the love with Positively Altered. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Positively Altered podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cindy, and I am here with Jessica, then Antoine. I don't speak French, so I didn't get to say that with a very nice accent, but I'll keep working on that. All right, Jessica, we've got some rapid fire questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What is one place on earth you've never been you'd love to see?
The Maldives.
Oh, that was fast.
We were talking about it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
My stepdaughter.
Are there any plans to go?
No.
All right. Well, as we committed to make it, like we're in charge of our health day.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to commit to getting that on your, checklist to check it off. Okay. What do you think?
I love that. Thank you. I'm good with accountability.
All right, good. So it's a done deal. What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Oh, ice cream or whiskey.
Oh, what about together? Because I was going to ask what your strangest food combination is too. Have you ever had them together? Like instead of a Rupert float, like a whiskey float? Is there such a thing?
No, I've never done that. I've done other liqueurs on top of ice cream, which is
okay.
Good. Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor?
Favorite flavor, anything with peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're like a Reese's girl kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. If you could change lives with any cartoon character, who would you change lives with?
Oh, cartoon character. Oh, man. This is funny, but probably one of the X-Men.
Really?
Maybe like Rogue from X-Men.
Okay.
Or Storm. Storm would be cool.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Then you have a whole team.
I'm giving away my age. Yeah, totally.
Listen. We all do on this podcast at some point. Everybody can find the one thing you've said that tells you what generation you come from.
Yeah, I grew up with the X-Men cartoons, and so I'm not referencing the movies that have been made in the 2000s. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, listen, I'm so old. I remember the Roadrunner and the Tasmanian Devil and
oh yeah, me too. I remember
Betty Boop. I mean, I'm that old, so. But it's okay. It's all good.
It's great. Yeah, getting older is great.
All right. On your phone, you can only keep 3 apps for the rest of your life. What 3 do you keep?
Oh, geez. I have to look at my phone to see which one I use all the time. Well, my calendar for sure.
Okay.
Couldn't live without that. Text messaging. And how about the actual phone app? Does that count?
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a phone.
That's fair.
Weather. I would say weather. I probably do more texting than talking.
You're very practical.
Yeah, I am. I am.
No, that's good. See, I ask these questions and it really tells a lot about people, even though we just pretend like we're having fun. I'm actually probably analyzing you in some weird way.
Well, to kind of circle back to me being a superhero of some sort, like an X person, I have always said that I think my superpower is my not aversion, but my I don't get addicted to social media.
Okay.
I don't scroll. It has no draw for me whatsoever. Yeah. I get bored so fast. And if I could bottle that and sell it, I'd be like a bajillionaire.
Actually, I think you can, because that's an issue with dopamine. And if you would just fix everybody's issue with dopamine, we wouldn't be addicted to social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, we just need the hit.
Yeah, it's true.
See? So there is a fix.
How do we find those? Okay.
All right, we'll offline this to make millions.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, no, that sounds good. All right, if you could create a holiday about anything you want, what would you create it for, and what day of the year would we celebrate it?
I'm like, Earth Day already exists.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day about love already exists. Great Thanksgiving already exists for gratitude. What else would I create a holiday about? Oh, I would create like a red tent day for women.
Okay.
And it would have to be, and there's no set day because it's a different day for every woman.
Oh, that's very hard to put on the calendar, Jessica.
I know, it's true. But maybe every woman could put her own, like, here's when my menstrual cycle starts, and I'm going to give myself this day to like,
Okay.
just relax and not work and eat chocolate, or, like put a hot pad on, put my feet in a hot bath, something like that.
All right. So what about okay, so I'm in menopause. So do I not get a red tent day, Jessica?
Oh, you can have a red tent day.
Okay. I was going to tell you when you were struggling, I was going to make it like a holiday to celebrate magnesium. So,
oh, there you go.
Maybe I can celebrate Magnesium Day since the menstrual cycle has come and gone.
Right. Since my holiday is only for a very specific subset of the population who's menstruating.
As I was going through perimenopause, my red tent day would have lasted 31 days at one point.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, maybe women will get extra holidays then. This is good. Yeah. This is good. We're going to celebrate us more often than one day.
Exactly.
I love that. Jessica, what's the favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
I love just how we connected so naturally, and the conversation just flowed. It didn't feel like an interview,
I didn't have any questions, Jessica. That's why it wasn't an interview. I don't prep for that way. So
I don't prep for that either. So it's great. No, it just felt really natural. And I have just enjoyed chatting with you and sharing, waxing philosophical about health and wellness and how education and insurance and the medical model in this country.
I love it. How do people get a hold of you, follow you, work with you, find you? Give us all the good info.
Yeah, thanks. So my business is called Phoenix Functional Health. It has nothing to do with the city of Phoenix, Arizona. It's all about the mythological bird and rising from the ashes, right? So my website is phoenixfunctionalhealth.com. I'm primarily on LinkedIn in terms of my social platform, and you can find me there just under my name, Jessica Van Antoine. And I do have some stuff on Instagram as well, though it's dated under Phoenix Functional Health.
Excellent. I love this. So everybody check Jessica out. Some great information here, and you need what she's selling, right? So to speak. And if you want to elevate your performance game, she is definitely the right person to reach out to. If you want to learn more about what we're doing here at the Positively Altered Project, please check out our website at drcindyspeaks.com. You can also sign up for our Not So Daily newsletter, where we just love to give you information. Use what you can and send what you can't to your friends, because they probably need some good stuff you may not. And please check out the book, Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Chemo Bag. Jessica, I love this because the more like-minded we are, the more people we can help, the more we can just give out good information. You are just a ray of light, and I know an absolute asset to those people that you work with. Thank you so much for being here on the podcast today. And I hope that all of the information has left all of you out there listening positively altered.